Another free-flowing week in the bank when it comes to fantasy managers and probably obliging to what the majority do. But here we are for yet an early edition. Get it out of the way, more importantly, before some people like to go down the pigs and blankets direction. It is the Gameweek 18 edition of the FPL Addicts podcast. And he just said just before we went on air, it's nice to have it just the two of us this time around. We did it for this time last year too, roughly on Boxing Day, and he's back again. And look, I'm one who's got the hat on, and so is he. It's Reidy. Hello there, and good morning to you. That's all right.
No, muted and booted. Get me off already. No, but Chaza, yes, mate. It's great to be back on the what do they call it? The dangerous duo, so to speak. Obviously you've got the Gooner there, you know, and the Scouser over here. So yeah, going well, mate. Nearly Christmas. Obviously we've slid this in there just before the deadline, so to speak, which is on Friday, Boxing Day. So it's a bit of an earlier one, but you know, given that Christmas falls when it falls, we wanted to get it in there before everyone tapped out festivities and so on. So yeah, mate, good to be here. How are you going, I should say?
Well, yeah, I'm all right, thank you. But when you came into the room, I was just smacking down my stir fry and trying to get facts about Jack Grealish of the captain's corner, just as a differential, because Everton have a good record against Burnley in the month of December, which is why. But no, I'm looking forward to it. I feel that we still need to get a good gauge on information heading into it, but I think Boxing Day to the majority of people can be quite awkward. So I'm with you in that. This is probably the right time. And it's been high-scoring weeks, back-to-back, to be fair. So it's more so what we can make of it, which is why we always start with a podcast, mini league. But there was a couple of comments who've come in the way. Miriam, hello there. Good morning to you. Banjo, you're out shopping. I hope you're listening on your AirPods, mate, because we expect nothing less from you. Right, Reidy, let's address our mini league podcast elephant in the room. This is where we are at. So 81 points, which is still high, but unfortunately it was the lowest of everyone this week. But
it was. And I'm the only one who's not hit the 1K in terms of points, which is actually feel a bit sad after that, because, you know, bench boost. Oh God! I mean, now the game's updated. Funnily enough, I haven't looked at it since yesterday, because now that it's actually updated officially, when you don't usually play your bench boost, obviously any auto subs come in and so on. If a player doesn't play, and as you can see, the bench boost now looks absolutely terrible compared to how it did look previously, because I did have Eze playing and Semenyo on the bench. And Eze didn't feature at all, didn't play a single minute. So, yeah, this is the first time, as I say, I'm seeing it like this, which looks pretty rubbish. But I can't grumble too much. I don't want to be a Grinch, obviously, no pun intended. But, 81, we move. I'm just trying to kind of navigate through it the minute. Triple Fulhams, double Arsenals, triple Cities, all that sort of stuff. Yeah, mate. So lowest of all of us. I'm just hoping I can climb back up at some point, because the Hitman is fully in. He's in full flow lately. The Hitman is back. So yeah.
Well, thank you as always. Commiserations on the bench boost. It can be hit and miss at times, and unfortunately, 7 points is. I mean, it could be a lot worse, but it could also be much more better. How would you assess it?
Well, I mean, Lego Head's absolutely screwed me, hasn't he? Arteta, the fraud, has just killed me off big time. Like, he's not playing Eze. It's only 1-0 against Everton, They're not winning comfortably, so I could understand if he didn't play him. I know Arsenal have a game. Is it tonight? Is it Palace tonight?
Yeah, Carabao Cup.
In the Cup, which I find mental still for them to be playing it, but I understand because of Palace having Europe and things like that, the reschedules and fixture congestion is quite bad as it is anyway. So, yeah, whether he's saving him for that game, I don't know. But the Eze pick for me I wanted him because I was like, I want another Arsenal, and I think it was mainly due to the Wolves fixture, which was, I want to say, game week 16 now. Yes, game week 16. That was an underwhelming game anyway for Arsenal. Obviously against Wolves, people didn't expect them to scrape a win, which is what happened. So I'm a bit annoyed about the Eze move. I finally decided to get him. And then, Arteta's just went, nah, you're not having any points off him. I got 1 point in game week 16 from him. And I'm quite kind of like flip-flopping between players at the minute. Disappointing to get no points at all from Eze because it makes the bench boost look a little bit rubbish, I'm not going to lie.
Credit where it's due, however, you did well on the Fulham assets last night.
Thank you very much, mate. Yes, I did. And that has, I don't want to say saved my game week, but it probably has. I'll be honest with you. I mean, what we're talking 12, 13, 14 points from those three. So I welcome that with open arms, especially because I don't know if you had any Bournemouth players, but they conceded in the 90th minute, didn't they, against Burnley, which ruined the Petrovic and the Senesi clean sheets for me. I needed that Fulham return. I did really need that. So I'm just grateful that, that it came in clutch for me. So that boosted me up a little bit. It meant that it, probably wasn't going to be a red arrow, or maybe I've sneaked a green, I think, potentially. So I'll take those points and run, Chaza.
Thank you as always. I wasn't, in fairness, all that much better. Past the 1,000 marks, so that is quite nice at this stage of the season. It's a slow burner type campaign. 84. Raya with a needed clean sheet down back. Vardiol alongside Senesi with Defcon. Semenyo, Michele on the bench again. It was a nothing game, Brighton Sunderland. However, I think a really good standout pick was the most transferred out. Nick Voltman.
Yeah,
2 goals.
Brilliant. And Newcastle obviously put Chelsea to the sword. I mean, think that probably be a little bit of grief that they didn't win that game. They were 2-0 up. Baltimore, getting his 2 tidy goals, I should say. He's a big fella as well. I didn't think I saw him stood next to Peter Crouch, and I was like, Jesus, he's actually that tall. So that was brilliant for you, mate. Well done for keeping faith in him. And I'll be honest, Newcastle's run, their fixtures coming up are pretty good. So he is going to be one of those where most transferred out. You can see him getting brought back in quite soon. And there's another striker similar to him who has been the most transferred in and might end up being the most transferred out now at some point. So well done on the Baltimore one, mate. It's 13 points. Is you can't think with that. It's great.
Look, I mean, Leeds United, we'll talk about them on the pod because their team move come out of nowhere all of a sudden. But Rodon losing his clean sheet in the 92nd minute too just didn't help at all.
Similar to me with the Bournemouth. I mean, actually, you had Senesi as well, so double pain. I mean, like myself with Petrovic, that is frustrating. And the penalty, I seen it as well on the highlights. Obviously, the keeper's come out, took him out and stuff, and yeah, just one of those frustrating ones where you're nearly there, you're so close, and then just gets snatched away, doesn't it, mate? But this is the game, and we know how it works. And it's cruelty in one sense, and another time it's very kind to us. So, not bad, mate. The Baltimore, the 13 pointers kind of like got you up to that 80 odd, because I think midfielders this week were a little bit rubbish, weren't they? Apart from Semenyo. So
yeah. And another bizarre one, because Rodon's on field, he came on as an auto sub for Van Heck, and Van Heck did not feature in the matchday squad at all. So. It's something to keep an eye on, especially if I've got to play a bench boost next week and not knowing if he'll play or not. So,
yeah, and Brighton's fixture next week, or this week rather, is Arsenal. So it's do you want to just take what you get from him if he does play anyway? Because you'd expect Arsenal to maybe win that one. So is a clean sheet going to happen? Doesn't look, according to odds, probably wouldn't be likely. So, yeah, mate, much food for thought going into Game Week 18 for us.
I think it is bench boost week, and I think I might need to make a couple of moves. It's just more determining which ones stay Dewsbury Hall news I'd rather wait on which of them go. Because if Dewsbury Hall can get up, I think away at Burnley's a good fixture. But if Van Heck, I think Van Heck's a concern in itself. But then also, Ekitike's on the shopping list, gets to transfers late, so everyone needs to get him. I've got to find a way, but it just means compromises for me Arsenal assets at the minute.
Yeah, it does. And Ekitike, he's gone up in price quite a bit. As we've seen, the transfer, the price changes are really aggressive this year. It's crazy. We're seeing players just go up and up and up every night. And then it's so hard to kind of keep up because making early decisions, you can pay the price for it, go in later, and then you can't afford it, you're priced out. It is a tough one. And Ekitike is close to that 9 million price point in the minute. Probably I want to say, is it second most expensive behind Haaland in the game?
Yeah.
And then you've got Baltimore, who's 7-odd mil as well. And maybe, I don't want to say luxury or such, but maybe people are thinking of jumping off Saka. And that would be, a reason to maybe be able to afford Ekitike and players like that. I think this week against Brighton at home probably isn't the right time, in my opinion. But yeah, we'll see where we land. And whose team we've got here? We've got Marcelo's. Wow.
Well, the reason why I'm showing this is because he managed to score 110 points, which is a phenomenal effort. And 24 points on the bench boost, 5 clean sheets down back. It's phenomenal.
See, he cheated though, hasn't he? Look at my bench boost, right, and how crap it looked, right? But I benched the right players. I benched Semenyo because I had Eze in for the symmetry of the team and stuff. I mean, that sneaky prawn, Marcelo. You got ice cream wafer there. He should be on the bench. You've got friggin'... Who else would you bench there? You probably bench Van den Berg, I should say.
Yeah.
Maybe bench him on the bench boost. And then who else would you bench boost? It's a tricky one.
Bowen, probably, away at City.
Bowen. Yes, there we go. Bowen against City. So, really... he's been a bit cheeky with that because you'd be playing Fernandes, you'd be playing Ekitike, and arguably you'd potentially be playing Kelleher against was it Wolves? I mean, he saved a pen and things like that. Obviously, he could have conceded. But yeah, he's been a bit cheeky with that one, hasn't he? But fair play to him. Listen, 110 points still. Marcelo's absolutely killing it at the minute.
He is. Well, it's an overall rank of just outside the top 10k, which is crazy. So fair play to him. There's no doubt about it. So that's ours from our league. Reidy is another intriguing one.
Did we not check Rev? Did we not look at Revs?
Do we check Revs?
Do we check?
All right, look.
We've got to check Revs.
He's not here, but he's also not still in the limelight. But he's having a really good season, so credit where it's due.
Yeah, fair do.
83 points. Just very quickly, how did he pull up? The triple captain work. So it looked at a different dimension and it paid off really well. But Donnarumma and 2 double Arsenal, but that is it.
Well, that's it. He played the triple captain. I mean, that's why I think it as well. I nearly forgot there that he's played the triple captain and he's got it right. Not many people had that chip left. You know what I mean? Yeah. So it was when to use it now with the games you've got left before Christmas and obviously before we get the new chips as well. So fair play to Rev on that one. Haaland's come in and got the points for him.
Yeah, he has. For sure. Reidy, I want to talk about Tiem, and I mentioned this only a couple of moments ago. Leeds United, and in their last 4 games, they have managed to score 3 goals or more. And in fairness, I think after the half-time of a match away at Manchester City, there's something that has improved within Daniel Farke's side. They look a little bit more than a side who are sort of flirting with relegation at the minute. In your case, well, at best of your knowledge, what has been the reason behind it? And second of all, is it worth looking into any of their FPL assets at the minute?
What's been the reason behind it? It's an interesting question. I know a guy who is a Leeds fan. I speak to him regularly, goes to games, he's season ticket holder and stuff. And I think it's the fact that he's changed system slightly. From what I can see and what I've got from a friend who's a Leeds fan, as I say, he's playing 3 centre-backs, so he's playing Rodon, Biol, he's playing Struijk, or Strauch, if that's how you say it. I can just call him Pascal, I suppose. But so it's the system that they're playing, and they're a lot more aggressive. I think Calvert-Lewin obviously coming into form has helped, for them getting goals, and they're just kind of creating more chances. I mean, I think not long ago anyway, they were the highest XG from set pieces in the league. So, something's working, and whatever Farke is doing, it's kind of it's getting them goals. Simple as that. It's getting them goals and getting them points, and that's what they need. I think they're currently sat in, is it 16th in the table at the moment? So, it's looking better for them. But in terms of your question, to bring any of those players in, I think obviously Calvert-Lewin is on the Christmas shopping list for some people. Outside of that, it's a bit difficult because, look at the fixtures. Leeds still, on paper, haven't really got good fixtures, have they? So unless you need to find the money to get, Bruno Fernandes is now injured. So obviously that was going to be potentially a move people considered if they had Saka and Haaland and Ekitike, and where would the money go? You could downgrade then to Calvert-Lewin. However, look at the fixtures there, Chaza. It's just, Man United, Newcastle, Fulham are in form. It's difficult. What's your opinion on it? Would you say that at the moment it's still okay to go there and buy a DCL, or is there someone else you've spotted? I know you have Rodon already, so what's your thoughts on it?
I think a higher priority at the minute would be Ekitike. I mean, could you go there? I think the next 3 to 4 fixtures are just tricky. It's as simple as that. We may have missed a boat. However, in that process, he has managed to score against Manchester City, Chelsea, and Liverpool. So, how much do we take out of that?
Yeah. I mean, he's returned in the last 5 game weeks against big teams. You know what I mean? And in games where Leeds wouldn't be expected to get anything from. I know they didn't get it from the City game, but obviously every other game they've got points from that. I do agree, though. I say I'm agreeing, and I say it lightly, because we could all be proved wrong, like we have been for the last 5 game weeks, and he could get points and he could get goals. But I do think it's a case of you've missed the boat. Are you going to get him and start him? If you are, then fine. If you're not, though, and he's going to be on your bench, I don't think it's worth the transfer to kind of go for him. But it depends, as I say. If it facilitates like a Cunha, because you're keeping hold of Saka, you've got a bit of an expensive defence, then maybe you can do that move.
Yeah, there's plenty to think about. Onto the public league very quickly, and now I know we talked about snakes and ladders last edition. This is genuinely gone snakes and ladders type. The top 3 set as they are, 4th to 10th. The movers and shapers. James Gadsden, who unfortunately you get a shout out, all for wrong reasons on this occasion, was top. Now gone all the way down to 12th, and the top 20, plenty of movement. But Jesus, standards in this one. Kieran Scully on 95. 1,132. Smart going.
Yeah, he's killed it. I mean, look at most of the scores there are in the 70s, and Kieran's leading the way. So fair play to him. It's going well for him.
It is, yeah, no doubt. Right, another big topic, which has proven of intrigue. Bruno Fernandes, because he got subbed off on Sunday with what was a hamstring injury, and it seemed to be more serious than we realised. Fair play to him for having a really good track record in not getting injured so much since having signed for Manchester United, but he's proven a popular pick in recent times. With Mbeumo gone to AFCON, do we still stay on the alliances of Manchester United, or is this a great opportunity to go elsewhere?
I think when you look at the fixture block and you look at kind of who's got good games up and coming, I don't think it changes much, because as we've seen this weekend, midfielders, when they don't return, you really do struggle in finding points elsewhere. Obviously if Haaland returns, everyone's got him anyway, so you're not really, gaining anything. So I do still think that, well, one thing I will say is if, Bruno's out for a few weeks and Bruno's at AFCON and so is Ahmad and so on, it is the bare bones and everyone is going to go to Cunha. It's just as simple as that. I think he is a good pick still. I think he is still a good pick. Potentially something I've thought about, but I probably won't end up doing, but, a United defender. Ultimately, the fixtures are good. Someone like a Dallo, who's 4.4, I think that is a shout, if you wanted to get him in. But other than that, we are scraping the barrel, aren't we, Chaza? Liverpool have still got good fixtures, obviously, over the next 2 or maybe even 3. Newcastle as well. And then outside of them, West Ham are a shout, maybe from an attacking point of view rather than defensive. So that's my 2 pence on it. I think that, yes, we still can go United. I think it'd be silly not to go for any of the players when they play Wolves after Newcastle. So, yeah, we're the worst team in the league. So, yeah. How do you kind of approach it? Have you got any thoughts on maybe a Cunha, or are you looking elsewhere as a differential?
So, Cunha, I think, I'm not sure if he's a top replacement, but he sounds a more common sense straight go ahead because of their short-term fixtures looking really nice. Plus, that game week 20, where the majority of sides don't have amazing fixtures or coded red, they've got rated a 3. Ellen Road is still quite a challenge, but it's still, I believe, good enough. But even on either side, they're facing 2 sides who are in the relegation zone in the minute, which is really good. So I think it is worth going, potentially Cunha. Morgan Rogers, I think, is another very intriguing one at the minute. Hasn't stopped scoring as of recently.
Yeah, and it's the same old story for me this season. Owning players and then going through just dry patches, not returning, and then I go, do you know what? It's about time I sell them now. Phil Foden's one for you. I had him between 6 and 11, and then from 13 onwards, I think it was, he went on a hot streak, purple patch, as they call it. The same's happened with Rodgers. He's just looking really good. But it always helps when your team or when their team are looking good. And Villa, are looking really good at the minute. There's talk of title challenge and things like that. I think people are getting a bit ahead of themselves. I think that Villa will drop some points during this period. Who is it they've got? They've got Chelsea, Arsenal, Forest, Palace and Everton. They're not easy games. Then Newcastle, obviously. So, but Rodgers is he's getting some attention, and rightly so.
I feel that he's fixture proof and one of the few players in the game. He can genuinely score against anyone. I think Villa's home record against top sides have been very good. It's a shame that they've got back-to-back away matches, but they defeated City at home, they defeated Arsenal at home, and they defeated Manchester United at home. The ceiling is certainly there for Rodgers. I think it's more consistency. 15 points in 3 of the last 6, which look fantastic. But will he still be in the right positions? Will his confidence still be there to be able to sustain that run? That's my talking point. But he's definitely not benchable, especially in hard games, whether that's Arsenal away. We learnt that from last season, especially for those that not just had him, but Chris Wood at the same time. Those are 2 players that could have easily been bench options, but they scored too often to warrant a position on field.
Yeah, that's true. That's it. And you look at the likes of Cole Palmer this year. Obviously, I know he's had his injury and stuff, but it's just the kind of switch in how things have gone last year. Palmer smashing it, and everyone having him, owning him, and so on. So then, this year, to Rodgers, and he's almost a young talent, and so on, and doing really well. I think what definitely helps with some players, not all players, but what helps with some players is the fact that it's a World Cup next year. You know what I mean? So people are wanting to get Tuchel's attention. And I think the argument at the moment is Rodgers or Bellingham. And based on what we've seen from Rodgers, that goal against United the other day,
true as well.
Mamma mia. It was it was beautiful. So if he continues like that, he's only going to do himself a lot of favours in getting into that World Cup squad for next year.
some great points. This is what I love about the conversation, the dynamics between us two. As much as equal, we are missing the presence of the other two. One of them is chiming in with the comments, it being Marcello. Merry Christmas. Thank you for tuning in, watching from work. And to be honest, look, if there was a pod on and I was at work, I'll probably be doing the same, just listening to it in the background. Miriam, thank you as always for your affirmation. Cortex, good morning to you. Yeah, 2 free transfers done. Bruno to Cunha and Thiago to Ekitike. They look relatively sound, don't they?
Yes. Love those. I know, obviously, we spoke about earlier price changes being so aggressive. I think Thiago was going down, maybe Saturday it was, and Cunha was going up on Sunday or something. So, good moves, great moves, especially the Ekitike one, who is popular this time round, isn't he?
Yeah, he is. And, well, I think you led the conversation quite well there in that we're going straight to the transfers traffic. In case people haven't noticed, this is what's so good. There's a countdown to the next deadline, and we've got the forthcoming deadlines just below. There's extra game week during the festive period, but because of that, there's a 3-week international break between the 21st of March to the 11th of April. So stay alert. But what is also meaning of being alert is the transfer market itself. Any particular surprises?
Any particular surprises? Oh gosh, I do think that. I think the Calvert-Lewin and Wilson ones, not surprises maybe, but people kind of jumping on and I think have missed the boat on those. I think Rice is a solid pick though. I think that's great. Ekitike and Rodgers obviously, kind of explain themselves. But yeah, I love that. Cheers, Marcello. But yeah, so for me, it's probably Calvert-Lewin and Wilson. But there's always that kind of narrative of, okay, why are these players being brought in? Is it to facilitate the top two that are, top two transfers there, which it could be. We don't know at this stage how many transfers people have, in terms of the AFCON ones. Some people still have 4 frees. So the activity in the transfers at the moment is bonkers. And yeah, they're the two for me that are a little bit surprising considering that the fixtures aren't going to be easy moving forward for Leeds and Fulham.
I'm with you on the Calvert-Lewin and Wilson one. You've said it just as well, so there's no point in me repeating it. I think a transfer's out relatively self-explanatory. However, I've got a bone to pick with 555,322 managers. Thiago, yes, he's blanked 4 in a row. 3 of them have been away games, and he's facing Bournemouth and Spurs and Sunderland in his next 4, all at home. Is this premature?
Oh, is it premature? I don't know. I think it's hard, isn't it? Because sometimes in the game we struggle with strikers. We struggle with, because obviously it's the position, that probably most is most based on form. You know what I mean? We've seen what DCL's doing lately. He's in form. He's on a hot streak. He's just in and around the box. He's getting goals. Whereas it's a bit different for Thiago. Brentford are scoring from elsewhere. Lewis Potter obviously getting 2 over the weekend and so on. So, yeah, is it the right time? For me, yes. I'm going to put it out there, yes. And the reason I'll say it is he's dropping in price because obviously he shot up, didn't he? So many people were buying him. But now you've got Haaland, Ekitike, and Voltemada. 3 players there who I think are going to get the points over this Christmas period. So for me, Thiago out.
Wow, huge. I don't know, because I need to find a way to get to Ekitike. So it's either, I think Voltemada's done enough. But yeah, Thiago's a funny one. And no pun intended for Cortex. The blanks are cherry on top. But I've got to give... you'll love the guy who's just commented, Reidy. You know him.
Yes, Aussie. Yes, my guy. Yeah, I mean, I don't know where that is. That picture from back in 2013 or what was it or something? But yeah, Oscar, what a legend! What an absolute legend, mate. Good to have you tuning in. Yeah, let's go, Chas. Love it.
Yeah, this is good. So this is good chat. It's what we get most podcasts, to be honest. Had DCL on a free hit last week. Got to get him to the actual team. And that was the 2012 photo, by the way, that he's got up. But DCL in an actual team, is it because, is it warranted a selection, or do we just have better forwards to choose from at the minute?
Well, put it this way: if I was on a wild card, I still had the wild card chip left. I personally would be getting in your likes of your Cunhas. You'd have Haaland, Ekitike, you'd have Voltemada. You'd maybe have one Arsenal, but would it be Saka? And I think that's what you've got to look at. I think you are looking at the moment at like what mids are probably worth buying, because the money now is like there's no Bruno, and he was the guy people were going to go to. So there's no Bruno now, which kind of makes it easier. And if you think that Arsenal's fixtures are a little bit more difficult, and obviously Saka's not worth 10.23 million, then, I think you have to look at that front three a bit more seriously. And you look at Morgan Rogers, who's doing bits. All right, Villa's fixtures are a little bit tricky, but he's a 90-minute man. Cunha's 8 million. So then the money, it can be done, but does have to probably be a sacrifice, and it is probably Saka at this point. But it'd be interesting to see what Oscar's going to do, because he said he had DCL on free hit. He's got to get him in the actual team. Is he one of these 243k that are bringing him in this week?
No, that's it. Hippie, thank you for joining. Good morning to you as well. Honestly, well summarised on the transfer front, and because what shows a great reflection of the moves are the fixtures ahead. We talked about only one Boxing Day game this year, but this is a list. This is what we got. So Friday, you could say it's an entree. Thankfully, Sky Sports have got some viewership on that evening. Then 2 games on the Sunday. What is a particular game you're looking forward to? It can be in general or from an FPL sense. This is always an open-ended question, but it's just what I like.
Yeah, for me, there are a few nice games. There are a few nice fixtures. And I think that even though all the football isn't on Boxing Day, which is a bit of rubbish, but, obviously it's a great fixture for that day. If we are going to have one, imagine it was like, I don't know, Burnley, Everton, or it was like, West Ham, Fulham. It'd be a bit naff. But for me, the fixture I'm going to go to is Chelsea v Villa, 5:30, Saturday, the 27th of December. And I think that one's the spicy one. I think Chelsea kind of not on the ropes. Obviously, there's been a bit of stuff with Maresca lately in the presses. Chelsea, managed to get that draw against Newcastle, albeit they weren't great. Reece James was, the free kick was just spectacular. I don't know if you've seen that one, Chaza, but Villa are in form. And I think 5:30 on a Saturday when everyone's maybe a little bit hungover, or, having some turkey butties or pigs in blankets and stuff, or a parsnip, depends what you like. Then that's definitely a game I want to tune into. So, yeah, that one for me. What about yourself?
I think that By a Country Mile is a game like looking forward to the most. It's funny. I don't know how they've got into this form at the time of the year they have. Yeah. And we've spoken to them a lot, especially a particular asset a few moments ago. It's Sunderland v Leeds, only because we've seen how good Leeds have been in their last 4, but also I kind of nearly said the other team. And Sunderland have been amazing this season. Like 2 promoted sides, they're both kind of punching above their weight at the minute. So it's good how it's a standalone game, because usually that would just be a 3 o'clock no one would watch and a blackout. But people can watch, so that's good.
100%. And I'm glad it's come to where it's come to in terms of at this point in the season, probably maybe earlier than what we expected in a way, because you know how it works. Promoted teams, they're the whipping boys, etc. And Leeds obviously weren't doing great at one point. Sunderland started off amazing this season. That clash, that game has got even more importance now because of where those teams are at. So it's a massive game, and I think it'll be a brilliant game. Obviously, at the Stadium of Light, we've seen what the atmosphere is like there this season. I don't know if you watched the derby, with them in Newcastle, but yeah, I'll be probably tuning into that one. I think on the Sunday.
Well, look, I'm glad people have got interest in 2 promoted sides only because
I know exactly. I mean, if that was on Friday, it was a great game. It's just a great fixture. in general this season, which is nice. Which is nice to really kind of say, because some people just don't, these type of fixtures or games don't really, what's the word? Not tinkle their bell, but float their boat, whatever you want to call it. But it should be a cracker. It should be a cracker. How many words are coming in to do with Christmas? Yeah, I feel like I'm just like, it's ingrained in my head. I'm saying all these Christmas words because it's so close. But yeah, hopefully we do get a few crackers, put it that way.
Well, that was no pun intended there. Let me give you that. A few crackers probably can come Christmas Day or Eve. Let's hope.
Yeah.
So, Cortex scored in an option. His last open play goal was against Wolves last season. Is he done enough, Anthony Gordon?
Well, I think it's a great segue in terms of, I know we talked about fixtures, but some of the players that maybe aren't getting a mention. And I think Anthony Gordon is looking like an option, at least. I think, obviously, it's always tricky this season with Newcastle having Alanga, Murphy, whom are missing Barnes, as well as Gordon. So it's minutes. But I think, obviously, Gordon's looking good lately. Are you happy just getting 60 out of him or 65 and, getting some points potentially from that? Then, he's a great option. Look at Newcastle's fixtures over the next, I'd say, 5 game weeks. Man United, Burnley, Palace, who aren't looking the best at the moment, looking like they're running out a bit of steam. And then you've got Leeds and Wolves. Fantastic fixtures, really. So you yourself have got Voltemade. I think people are going to be looking at going there. Maybe even a Newcastle defender. I know Dan Burns obviously out for a little bit at the minute, so it makes them weaker. I think Lewis Miley's covering at the minute, isn't he, for right back and a bit of midfield. But in terms of FPL, he potentially is a great little facilitator. He's 4.4 midfielder, but also, as I said, will play potentially right back for Newcastle, so he could get DEFCON for you. So Gordon, Miley, and whoever else you want to stick in your Christmas pudding.
Oh, geez, I didn't expect that one. Oh, God, yeah, you're full of it. The lovely play explanations are just coming a long way. But I tell you what, it's come a long way. Well, has it or has it not? But alarm, everyone. Hopefully it shows. We got to use our chips by game week 19. So that brings another segment, which hopefully will only just be a few minutes on this. But have you got any left, Reidy?
As the famous Ian Beale once said to Phil Mitchell, I've got nothing left. So that's me done, mate. Bench boost has been used, obviously, in this game week just gone. So, yeah, all out on the chip front, matey. But over to you. I think you might have a chip left, right?
That is correct.
Yeah. So what are you thinking? And
well,
what chip is it? Actually, it's bench boost. You mentioned thing, right?
Well, there might be another chip if this website keeps playing up, and that is logout chip, where the account logs you out and you can't get back in.
Yeah, it only lets you play half a season, then it's like, nah.
Yeah, I only play half a season, but it means saving half a season of misery and inevitable disappointment. But yes, we've got the bench boost chip here. I think, well, was there any blatant talking points I may have missed, or are we just going straight to teams all of a sudden?
One thing I do want to quickly say is, because we were covering players, but I know you're interested to talk about the chip side of things, is Liverpool players, because we have put a lot of focus on Ekatike, right? Some of us already have maybe Van Dijk. Maybe some people want to go there. I know Arsenal are slowly getting players back in Gabriel and stuff like that, which I know at some point people want to move to. But just for these next 2 fixtures, can we have a little discussion on, outside of Ekatike and Van Dijk, is there anyone, because Szoboszlai is suspended, by the way, because we haven't touched upon that point. Some people were potentially going to get Szoboszlai, easy to get to, affordable, but now he's going to miss that game against Wolves. So is there anyone outside of that you would say, Chaza, that you'd maybe look at?
Well, we're just on our way to try and figure out Gravenberch maybe on a bench boost. Like, could he be it?
Well, that's it. It kind of probably ties in with the chip. Also, if you do have a bench boost left, is there someone that would actually be good for the bench boost? Gravenberch, McAllister, and then who else?
Has played himself back into form.
How have we not even talked about Wirtz at this point? Wow, FPL hippie. I bought Frimpong, defender, playing Salah position, right side of front three, like Lewis Potter was last weekend. I mean, that's the kind of stuff that we want to see because, like I say, I mean, we've probably missed a few points on this. And, you know, we talked about Newcastle. We've discussed a bit of United, West Ham as well. Obviously, Bowen would be a talking point if you were looking to bring him in. But that is a bit trickier because you're like, you know, do you go Ekatike and prioritize that, or do you want Baltimore there? But yeah, FPL hippie with the Frimpong thing, just sticking it straight in, no messing about. Wirtz, I tell you what though, few people maybe will be considering. I know someone who's put a comment in the FPL discomfort is a bit interested in Florian Wirtz. Not something that you maybe fancy doing this week, Chaza?
He hasn't even come to my head, to be honest. I'm just glad he played a nice assist to the now injured Alexander Isak, and that's tragic in itself, isn't it?
Well, there we go. Would people have gone there? Probably not. You know, there we go. Kieran's all over it. But yeah, I mean, I think even if Isak wasn't injured, I think people were probably going to go Ekatike. You'd think. But yeah, Wirtz is actually probably the most discussed player outside of Ekatike as to who to bring in from Liverpool. Got his assist. He's looking a little bit sharper, a little bit better. It is kind of like a punt, but not a punt, because minutes are probably even better, especially for this game, with Szoboszlai being out. Could be on pens or, you know, set pieces and things like that. So I think Wirtz is a little outside pick. I mean, I had him at the beginning of the season, and as we know, we're all aware he's not had a great start to the campaign. Liverpool, though, have been a little bit, you know, a little bit rubbish, so to speak. So, yeah, there we go. Kieran So, yeah, if you've got the transfers, then potentially get in Florian Wirtz. And yeah, any discussion on that further, Chaza, or do you want to get straight to it?
I'm glad I asked you the question because I felt you filled a very much needed gap there. So that was much appreciative. And it seems like all our viewers have woken up once that Frimpong name was mentioned. Like all the comments are yes, 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 yes.
Yeah, I mean, like, but this is the thing, isn't it? Is he still around the five mark or something like that? I don't know. I haven't looked at Frimpong obviously at all, so this is why I'm asking the question. But he's 5'7", is he?
Yeah, got an assist in 30 minutes having played against Spurs too.
Yeah, I found it mental though. The interesting thing was, and it might not be the first time it's happened, is that he came on as a sub and got brought off. So, that's another thing. The minutes, I don't like him. But on another positive thing, because it's Christmas and we want to be positive, is that Bradley has, you know, took a bit of a knock, might be out. So, you know, where are we at? Does Frimpong play on the right, like higher up? Does he have to play right back, which is a little bit more like meh? So we'll see how that lands, mate, and see what happens. But the Frimpong punt, I should say, with Salah not being there, I like it.
Jojo, just quickly, ETA on Gabriel. I think he's aiming for a game week. Just trying to figure out a game week 20 or 21 return. So hopefully before the new year, if we're really optimistic. But I'd say by game week 21 if we're being realistic, if anything. But Reidy, what a shout that is. So I think it's now time to talk about teams and how we're going to set the direction for our sides. Game week, what is it, 18? I nearly forgot for a moment.
Yeah, game week 18, mate. Week 18.
Would you like to go first or would you like me to? I mean, I may take out a good chunk of minutes personally.
I'll get mine out the way, mate, just so you can, have a little look and float some ideas about and stuff like that. So,
yeah,
I'll share the old team. for game week 18.
While he's doing that, in case you guys have only just joined us, when I preview my side, I tend to take 90 seconds, say this is my X side, bane it off to the next person. But I think when you've got a chip left and you've only got 2 game weeks to use it, it might create some discussion for Fright. But Reidy, just let me remove one, put on stage another to the main one.
Yeah, this is the team for me for this game week. I've lost the plot. I'm not going to lie, Chaza. I've lost the plot.
What have we got?
A -16.
Again?
No. Whoa. Wait there. I should have said that a different way around. Yeah, your heart literally come out your chest for a minute then. So in game week 15 was a -16. In game week 16, used all 5. And in game week 17, I used 1, just used 1. So sensible. However, for this game week, I have took a -8. Now, Ekatiké's come in for Thiago. Rodgers has come in for, who is it? Who was it? See, this is the thing. I have to remember what I've done. Rodgers has come in for
Saka?
Eze.
Oh, yeah.
And then the last one was Alderete has come in for Lacroix. So I've made 3 moves. I'm just trying to kind of stay afloat at the minute, taking these hits and things like that. And that's how I'm looking. I mean, Alderete's in at the minute against Leeds. I think there might be goals in that one. So I might just put O'Reilly in there instead. But, yeah, I mean, anything you change about that, Chaza, is the captain. I mean, the captaincy's on Ekatike at the minute. Forest, not amazing, and City is still scoring goals, so I might change that to Haaland. Imagine getting stung over the Christmas period by not captaining Haaland. I've done that a couple of times this season. It's not been nice. So, yeah, that's where I land for game week 18, mate. All good.
I was going to say, if you had the bench boost left, I could understand if it was being played in this instance, because as much as they're all away from home, they're all relatively half decent fixtures. O'Reilly in for Anderson, is that a consider?
No, probably Alderete if it's going to be one of them.
Okay. Sure.
Anderson's just a DEFCON monster, isn't he?
Yeah,
it's West Ham. West Ham aren't great at home. Fulham have looked fairly solid. So I probably will play Anderson. O'Reilly's the one where, I mean, the thing with O'Reilly is his ownership is still really low. Yeah. It's considerably low still. So even if I didn't play him, he's not a threat to me. Alderete is more of a punt, I guess, with it being a home fixture and with Sunderland being quite solid. I'm thinking maybe I go for that one, and I'm just hoping that Forest actually managed to sneak a goal in against City with it being at home for them. So that's where I'm looking. Wilson could come in over Raul. Raul being on pens, though, as we saw last night, is a bit more of a factor. And if Wilson has picked up a knock, isn't available, then he's going to be on my bench anyway. And O'Reilly's probably going to end up being the first sub technically. So, yeah, that's how I'm going for this week. I brought in Rodgers. I got rid of Eze. It could have been Gordon. Could have been Gordon instead of Rodgers with Villa's fixtures being tricky, but it's the minutes thing for me. I'd rather just go for Rodgers, who's got the 19 and so on. So, yeah, I like the team. I actually like it. I like it this week. So, yeah, mate, on to you anyway. Enough about me.
No, I like the explanation. This is what you've been really good at today. So, no, that was quite impressive. Now, for a record, because I put this in the chat about our next step. Now, I am aiming for it to be on Monday for game week 19, because that's like the only day off as we're about to transition into game week 19 from post 18. So that is the answer, and you're spot on. But
there we go. Kieran knows.
That's up there with the Tesco club card sledge.
Yeah. Get me on the IV ASAP and get my jaw fixed, because I am taking a few big hits. But yeah, for me, sometimes it pays off. Generally, people don't like to do it. I think Kieran's having a pretty good season. I think he's got a wild card left or something like that, if I remember right. But yeah, onto your bench boost, mate. We've got a few on that.
The good news Should we start with bad news or good news? The bad news is
get the bad out of the way.
Yeah. It's ordinary fixtures. We've got people on a red flag as a yellow flag, and someone that just doesn't show up in a matchday squad, and a cheap goalie that plays for a promoted side who've nearly conceded the most goals at home of any other team. And we've got a bench boost left. And when I look at it, this is probably the best week to play it, because if there's 3 game weeks in a week, I reckon it's that middle one in which the majority of players may get rotated in comparison to the first one. So, well, where do we go? The good news is we got 5 free transfers.
You have?
Yeah.
Wow. Chaza. Oh, baby. Oh, baby. I wasn't expecting that, actually. You didn't mention that until literally this point. So, yeah.
I mean, unfortunately, when I look at it, we didn't quite get the 6, 7 free transfers accumulated, but 5 will do just for now.
Yeah, so let's dive straight in, mate. What is going on? I mean, Dewsbury Hall staring you right in the face. Obviously, that's a see you later. How do you make this bench boost as juicy as possible?
Right.
And, kind of actually go for players that you maybe want to keep hold of as well at the same time?
Yeah. Let's have a look at this. Transfers in, if I kind of look at it from this point of view. Right. Tiago is kind of there. I mean, for example, let's try and work within the boundaries first and then see what we have left over. So Ekatike, just because everyone's trying to get this fella. 4 mil. So that's not going to work. I reckon the expenses we're going to get the most out of. It could be Vardiol, but City are playing well at the minute. It could be the Arsenal assets, in fairness. Like, I know Via keeps clean sheets and is a high-scoring goalkeeper, but 6 million, if you go down to, example, a Rose from Sunderland, who are arguably playing just as well, you could get some coin from that. Saka could go down to a Declan Rice. Marcello may have mentioned it on Twitter this week. So if we, let's, for it, as a hypothetical, we'll go there. You're already getting 7 mil back. Like, you're saving 3 mil if you're getting Declan Rice, who's a DEFCON monster in itself too. It does look pretty good.
Yeah. So, what about taking out Van Heck? I think that'd be a sensible option.
That's another good move as well, yeah. Let's try that one.
So you're on 11.6 mil to get 2 players in.
Yeah. Let me try.
What are you thinking in terms of what are the best fixtures that kind of stand out for you? Is the question.
Yeah, I think
Everton v Burnley, for example. Would you go for an Everton defender? Would you go for a Liverpool defender, whether it be Van Dijk, Canate? There are a couple of options for you.
They are, yeah. I was thinking Gravenberch for Dewsbury Hall, to be fair.
Gravenberch, what a shout! What a shout! That's a great shout. Yeah, Gravenberch. And how much do you have left? Oh, there you go, 6.9. Plenty left. And that's not even all the transfers you. So you get to carry one over, right?
Yeah, I got one I could leave over if I want to. So if I look at it, that's 1 free transfer left. So it's what Ekatike, Grav has come in, Keane has come in.
Yeah, how much in the bank left?
1.3.
Hey, you've literally just done the perfect thing, nail on the head straight away. I mean, I don't think anyone outside of that I can think of, unless you wanted a Newcastle mid, but I think for 6 point something, was it 6.7? I think you had, or 6.9. You're looking at like a Barnes, or you're looking at, a Murphy, something like that. But it is United, so albeit that United have not got the attacking, threat as much, maybe you want to say. You still think that they've got enough players there to make it a little bit difficult. And Newcastle away generally aren't as good as at home. So I think you've nailed it. As I say, I think it's a good it's a good bench boost, that, mate. And 2 frees going into the, as you say, midweek fixtures. There could be rotation. There could be injuries, obviously, that crop up. And you don't have to think about this chip basically for next week. It's done and dusted.
Yeah, that is a good point. I mean, it could be
Virgil Angrat. Oh, nice.
I mean, we could go there.
You could go there indeed, mate. You could go there.
0.1 in the bank. We've got a spare transfer. Chat, what are we saying? This is an intriguing
What would you say, guys? Would you say he's best going triple Liverpool or double Liverpool and a Everton defender?
I think double. But Grav at that price looks actually pretty good for what it's worth at the minute. But if we go down to Keane, so this will be the last one because I know I've got actually to pack for coach this afternoon.
No,
that's the highest we could go for. I've already got
6-9 in the tank.
No, I can't go City. Could go Jack Grealish, and he's on the captain's corner. Funnily enough, what are Brighton's fixtures like? We haven't even spoken about. It's a bit yuck.
It's a bit patchy, but it's good after Arsenal basically for 2 games. Yeah, I think you're quite limited in terms of who you can buy, and I think that the fact that you're going to get Rice, you're going to have Foden, and who are your other 2 mids? It's Semenyo and Wilson.
Yeah.
The only concern I would say in this bench boost is that if Wilson doesn't play, we don't know yet. We haven't had an update and things like that. I personally, if I was you, would wait for the presser just to see.
Yeah, I'm going to. Yeah.
And if he is fit, then obviously the bench boost is fine, and you can do Dewsbury Hall, get him out, and you can, do your other 2 moves as well. So, yeah, I like what you're cooking, mate. I like what you're cooking.
Yeah. It shouldn't be too bad. So
no, wait there. Someone we didn't consider actually, but I think because of you buying Ekatike, I don't think you could get to Verts.
No, I can't, because if I go Keane, I got 6.9 left.
Yeah, so you just a bit tricky in that respect. You'd have to use the other transfer and move a few of the people out. It's probably a bit too much, isn't it?
Yeah. Rats to roast and get Verts instead. I know I've got to carry on because I know sometimes in the scene I'll sort of tell people to move on with the agenda. So I will in this instance, but I will have a tinker around, Kieran. And if you do want to message me in terms of how that goes, please feel free to. But for now, our final segment before Christmas, and that is a nice addition of Capitano Cornell, or should we say Captain's Corner. We'll start with Erling Haaland, who is the only player in the game who's managed to score 150 points this season. Put it in respect. No one has scored 100. The second place is Antoine Semenyo with 99 and 19 price changes to his name, but he's not in the segment. Back onto the Norwegian. 5 goals and 3 assists in his last 4 game weeks. However, he's only scored 1 goal in his 3 visits to the City ground. And Sean Dyche in Nottingham Forest's first 5 home matches under his management, they've only managed to fail to score once, and that was against Brighton. It having finished 2-0. Bukayo Saka. Let's get the bad news out of the way, and that is he's only scored 1 goal in his 6 home encounters against the Seagulls throughout his career. But the good news is that as a start to this season, he's only blanked once at home, and in his 6 league appearances, having been a starter, 3 goals and 2 assists. Right, Hugo Ekatike, and he was the last one I wrote down, but he may as well come in third because he's a lot higher, punching above a lot of people's weight. 5 goals in his last 3 league games. He's facing Leeds after he faces Wolves this coming game week after Christmas. And in addition to the Wolves under Rob Edwards, they've conceded 37 goals this campaign, which is the most of any side in the league. Igor Thiago. Funny one about B's record against the Cherries. And maybe, just maybe, I know the Ekatike rush, but is it worth just holding on to what you have? 3 home games in his next 4. Bournemouth last defeated Brentford in the first leg of the Championship playoff semi-final in May 2021. The Bees Ever since that run in the Premier League, they are unbeaten against the Cherries and have scored 11 goals in their 6 league appearances. With that, Thiago has scored a brace in 3 home matches this season. And the final one, if you want a genuine curveball, you're toffee optimistic, Jack Grealish away at Turf Moor. And here's why. Burnley has scored the lowest amount of goals of any side in their home matches this season, just 7 in their 18. And Everton have an unbeaten record against the Clarets when they play them in the month of December. It being 4 encounters within the last 6 seasons, 3 wins, 1 draw. So maybe the stars do align if you want to go with someone with personality. Back to the normal studio. We're going to bring Reidy back in the cavalry to see if I convinced him of going away from the Norwegian.
Well, mate, some cracking picks there, to be honest with you. Obviously throwing in a little curveball of Jack Grealish and so on. No mention for Jared Bowen, by the way. I was listening. I was like, oh, maybe Jared Bowen in there, but no. I think there's enough options really to kind of probably just air away from him. With as I said earlier, I think West Ham's home form and Fulham actually being pretty decent. Yeah, there's better picks for me. I am at the moment going away from Erling Haaland. Although come Friday, I'm thinking, do I just be sensible and just stick it on him? Still in form, still getting goals, still obviously massively owned. And yeah, Liverpool as good as we've been, as I say, well, when I say good, we haven't lost for 6, which is nice to say. We're missing a few players. Werter's got to step up. So then does Ekitike get maybe 1 goal and it comes from elsewhere? As you said, Wolves conceding so many. So Ekitike is my captain pick at the minute, but it probably will end up being Erling Haaland. How about you? How are you thinking about this? How are you approaching it?
Haaland at the minute, but that was the first time I constructed the bench boost in quite a suitable fashion. And if Ekitike comes in, I think he is going to be captain, to be fair with you.
Wow, was not expecting that.
Yeah, I feel it's a good opportunity. I know City go away to Sunderland after they face Forest too, so there's opportunities, let's put it that way. But maybe is Phil Foden a better pick away from home in this instance? So he's a shout.
Yeah, it always is a risk this season because it's like hard with no Salah. And with obviously Salah when he was here, it was kind of no Salah anyway. But like, it's almost like Haaland became the perma captain then. And yes, we want a little bit of differential sometimes and things like that. But we have seen how easy it is to end up with egg on your face, captaining a midfielder who doesn't return, and Haaland just kind of keeps doing it. Haaland did go through obviously a little small period where he didn't return. It was against Sunderland. He did against Leeds as well. He blanked. Newcastle, Liverpool. He got, I think, was it 1 goal, but he ended up, I can't remember. Did he end up getting booked? Something crazy happened in that one. So there has been games where he's blanked this season, but 13 against Palace and 16 against West Ham. So he got obviously 2 goals in the first game and 2 goals and an assist in the last game against West Ham. It is risky, but Ekitike is also, he's doing well, isn't he? 13 and 9,
Yeah.
The proof is in the
pudding.
There you go, mate.
Yeah. That will do it for yet another edition. We'll probably be back on Monday, considering how fast turnaround the game weeks are. We love turning up each week. Reidy, to you, thank you for your company in this edition. I hope you enjoyed it. I love the discussion aspect of it, and have a fantastic Christmas.
Yes, mate. Appreciate it. Obviously, it's been a great little pod to do before we check out for Christmas, and obviously the people who've tuned in today. It's been great seeing some of the comments, and obviously, hopefully, your decisions go well for Christmas or for these festive games. I mean, don't forget, it is a Friday deadline. If you've had a few drinks on Christmas Day with the family and stuff, just don't forget to get your team sorted for Friday, because I can understand why some people might miss that one, or even if you're out and about on Boxing Day, because some people do like to go to the pub. But yeah, thank you very much for tuning in, people. And yeah, thank you again, Chaza. Really enjoyed it. Obviously, nice to just be in with you for a bit. I love the boys as well. Miss them not being here. But yeah, it's been a nice one, mate. Thank you.
That's it. To you all, have a fantastic Christmas. Catch you very much likely on Monday. Until then, all the best. And I hope your FPL dreams come true with a ginormous green arrow. Until next time.